my overriding mentality to all those fears that I had and the difficulty was, if you don't do this, somebody else will. I was walking back to my house from work, and it was a really, really, really icy day. It was one of these days where we had the warm up and all the snow melted and everything, and then it refroze. And so it was just a skating rink outside, just a huge sheet of ice. And so I was stepping up from the curb, from the street onto the curb, and I slipped and just completely shattered my ankle. And I'm laying there sprawled out on the ice. First thing that comes into my head before even like registering like, ouch, does this hurt or anything? Because I felt the pop, right? So the first thing that comes into my head is, oh shit, how am I gonna drum? So I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, okay, well, I've got another foot. I can do this. I can figure this out. And I'm not a double bass drum player. My left foot is mostly idle while I'm playing, so it's got no reference, no real capability to do this. A few years prior to this, I actually broke my hand. Not a huge break. This was actually a small fracture comparatively, but it put me out of commission for like a month. And I ended up getting like totally replaced from that band that I was in, just because I didn't do the work. I kind of just rolled over. I thought maybe I could get by playing one-handed, and I gave it a couple of practice runs and showed them, and they were like, yeah, no, it's all good. We got somebody. You just rest up and take care of yourself, and I don't think I played with that band at all after that. It just kind of, phased out. And so I just kind of used it as an opportunity instead of, feeling sorry for myself. I thought, okay, here's a challenge. How can I get around it? What can I do? And I started doing dumb stuff like carrying a backpack around with me and just like putting dirty dishes in my backpack and putting it on my back and, hobble my way over to the sink and do the dishes and everything like that. And, I'd prop a chair up there so I could actually do them and everything like that. So, I mean, I can see how, something that seems like life-changing like that, at least even if it is temporary, can totally, no pun intended, but can totally immobilize a person. You just get paralyzed. This is something that I'm used to having. What do I do now? But, I got tired of living a life where, that kind of had been my MO, things would happen to me, and I would be just kind of victimize myself, right? I decided to have a different mentality toward this one. And I was like, okay, this happened. It didn't happen to me. I don't need to be a victim. How do I come out of this, right? I remember when I told him too, like, I was like, don't worry, guys. Like, everybody's getting ready to like cancel gigs and call this up. I was like, no, don't worry. I got this. Just give me next practice. I'll show you. We're gonna be fine. So they're like, really? What? And I'm like, play it with my other foot. And so I go into my apartment. I'm practicing these parts, and thank God nobody heard that first session, man. It was awful. It was god awful. Even I was like, oh my God, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do this. Everything was just a turd, man. I had to just like simplify everything down to like just a 4 on the floor dance beat. The moment where it's the easiest to give up and just be like, you know what, I can't do this. This is gonna be too hard. And I had those kinds of thoughts. They were paralyzing. When I thought about giving up, I thought about the options. I was like, all right, well, you can give up and you can cancel a bunch of shows and disappoint a bunch of fans, or get a substitute drummer in here to do this. I didn't want that. I wanted to do it. I didn't want to cancel any shows. I wanted to get on the stage for the fans and play and be there as, I wanted to be Danny Rampage. I wanted to represent for him. And when I had the vision, and it probably helped that I had an experience similar to this before, and I literally saw somebody else up there playing the drums. I mean, I was sitting there in the audience watching somebody else playing the drums, my hands all casted up. That's my spot, So I mean, I just remembered that, and I was like, no way. Absolutely not, man. I'm gonna be up there, and I'm not canceling these shows because all those people have been dying to hear this new music. To me, there was just no option, and everybody was, super supportive, really impressed with what I'd done. But man, I couldn't, having bandmates that support you through that can hear like what you're your potential is, even when you're not fully capable, that's huge. You gotta have that. You gotta have people who believe in you, you know. I get up there on stage on a walker and I sit down at the thing, and you know, all this practice led up to this moment. And I was like, you know, now or never. It was a really incredible feeling to get up there and be completely backwards and still pull it off. And some people didn't even know I had a broken foot. And you know, that was important to me. I wanted to give them the show that they deserved, you know. So I put in the work to bring it home for them.